What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you those 40 facts on the Warhammer 40K universe. Today we are going into the lore for my Celestial Sons, my own personal Space Marine fan chapter, or Legion for that matter. They are the 11th Legion, the Celestial Sons. Now this this snippet of information is going to focus on the Infernal Sons, which is the chaotic, splinter, you could call it, the chaotic faction of the Celestial Sons. So if you guys are a little confused as to what they are, I will post the timeline and the whole playlist for all the lore I have on my Celestial Sons. That way you guys can get up to speed. So let's dive into the Infernal Sun lore. When the Celestial Sun sets, the Infernal Sun rises. So back when the ruinous powers of chaos took the Primarchs from the Emperor, Alec Elric's pod cracked, and thus the taint of chaos infected him. Tzeentch claimed him for his own. However, all the other chaos gods still kept their eyes on him. Throughout his early life, Alec Elric would get visions of events that hadn't occurred yet, but for the most part he ignored them. Once he unleashed his latent psychic potential, he started hearing voices in his head. These voices would sometimes aid him, telling him the weaknesses of his enemies, or what battles to avoid. Other times they would feed him lies, and they would try to provoke the Primarch to enact heinous crimes. After the Fractured Sun incident, Alec Elric was never again seen at full health, all thanks to the grueling battle with Leman Russ. The chaotic powers of chaos used this opening to feed Elric thoughts of joining chaos, and Tzeentch almost won him over at one point, but Elric's resolve to rebuild his Celestial Sons by his own will won out. When the Horus Heresy was at its peak, the chaotic gods had attained a surge of power, and Tzeentch managed to shatter Elric's psyche, causing him to have bouts of rage. His bipolar personality kept his legion on alert. However, Sol Oros, the Golden Sun, would pacify Elric most of the time. When the Celestial Sons found the God Prison and its anti-warp pylons helped a great deal in bringing Elric to his senses. Vicus Rowan, the Armored Sun, melded a portion of one of these pylons to Elric's breastplate, allowing Elric to leave the God Prison for a fixed period of time without bursting into one of his many fits of rage and bloodshed, all the while keeping the voices in his head silenced. Time passed, and the Celestial Sons met with the Necron Lord, Trazian the Infinite. A brief battle ensued. However, when Elric ordered for one of their own Catan shards to be released, Trazian halted his attacks. Elric and Trazian spoke for quite some time before a deal was struck. The Celestial Sons would bring 3 relics back to the Necron Lord in exchange for valuable information that would take the Sons closer to their goal, reviving the Emperor and atoning for their sins. The first relic was relatively easy to acquire. Their Catan shards made short work of the orcs who were guarding an ancient power source known as the Aether Cube. The second relic was not so simple. Trazian required the soul stones of an entire Eldar craft world. This would be no easy task, even with 2 Catan shards and a Primarch. Fast forward to the epic clash of the Eldar and the Marines, and the body count is high on both sides. The Eldar are having a tough time against the might of the large amounts of librarians that the Celestial Sons have, but the tide of the battle shifts to their favor when the Avatar of Cain is summoned. Vicus Rowan personally confronts the God of War, and his Contemptor sarcophagus literally begins to melt as the Avatar lands blow after blow. Rowan pushes his mechanical body to its limits until the Spear of Cain impales Rowan to the ground. With that, the Avatar heads towards one of the Catan shards. Meanwhile, Alec Elric is in the midst of fighting the Craftworld's Seer Council, with him already having killed off 2 of the 5 Xenos. Just then, a Wraith Knight catches sight of the Primarch and fires his Sun Lance at him. The ensuing blast misses Elric, but it managed to destroy his pylon-infused breastplate. Tzeentch's voices now scream at Elric to turn to him for aid, and the Craftworld would be theirs. But before Elric could answer the voices, the remaining Seer Council blasts him with warp lightning. So Oros, the golden sun, rushes to his aid, but the Wraith Knight blocks his path. Just as victory seems hopeless for the Celestial Sons, a warp gate opens above the battlefield. To both the Eldar and the Sun's surprise, demons begin pouring out. Some blood-red creatures alongside massive winged monstrosities, and what seemed like space marines. The new threat assaulted indiscriminately, and the Seer Council had no choice but to turn their attention over to the demons. Elric ordered his remaining forces to regroup on his position, and just then a massive demon prince threw his bloody spear at the Primarch. However, Elric deflected it. But before he could retaliate, mechanical tendrils coil around him. My, is this the power you have left in you? What a sorry state you're in. I bet you can't even remember me, or this demon prince. Dante Hueco. How far you've fallen. No, it is you who have fallen, you who have damned us, all thanks to that false emperor. But there is redemption. Join me, join the dark gods, and once again the sun will rise. Look at Varos, he has truly gained the favor of the blood god, now becoming a massive demon prince of Khorne. You too can have this power. Just then, Sol Oros arrives and slashes off Dante's mechanical tendrils, freeing Elric, and immediately unleashes his psychic powers to bring out his golden lightning, increasing his reflexes and speed. Welcome, brother. I think it's time we see which of us is stronger. Hueco summons forth his demon blade, Sun Eater, as the Golden Sun and the Midnight Sun battle once again. Varos, the demon prince, then unleashes a massive blow on Elric, tossing him asunder. Death, devastation, and bloodshed. Demons hacking away at my legion. Eldar scum vanquishing one of my Catan shards. My own legion, battling chaotic battle brothers. Who am I to call myself their Primarch? Who am I to lead them to redemption? I tried to lighten the Imperium, to make it better and brighter, but it looks like my light has only cast deep, dark shadows. Elric falls to his knees as Tzeentch's voices begin to claw at his psyche once again. You were betrayed by your mentors, betrayed by your emperor, even betrayed by your legion. Alec Elric fades into the darkness. And with that concludes this lore on my Celestial Sons, focusing on the Infernal Sons. So, I know there's a bunch of cliffhangers. For example, did Elric die? Is he now a Chaos Worshipper? What happened to Vicus Rowan? Which Catan shard is killed? Who will win the duel, Dante Hueco or Sol Oros? And what will ultimately happen to the Elder Craft world? What will happen to our Celestial Sons? Will they get these freaking gems over to Trazian? What's going to happen with the Infernal Sons? Just what's going on? There's a lot of open-ended questions to this, and hopefully we will see some of these, or most of these, hopefully have some kind of closure. I did say this was going to be my last lore on the Celestial Sons, but I don't think so. I took a 2-month break from writing any lore, and now that I'm back at it, I love it. It's awesome. I fell back in love with the characters. I really like the direction for Dante Hueco, and freaking Varos. Varos is now a Khorne demon prince. Like, what the heck happened? Will I dive into how these guys became tainted by chaos? Because the last time I talked about Dante Hueco, it was during the Fractured Sun incident, where he basically vowed to have revenge on all the Celestial Sons that ended up betraying them. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, I want to talk a little bit as to what the Infernal Sons are. So the Infernal Sons are Chaos Undivided warband that were former Celestial Sons, obviously. Now these guys are, even though they were being seen here with Khorne demons and whatnot, they are Chaos Undivided. And some of these images that you see here, you've got some green Chaos Marines to represent that they worship Nurgle. You've got purple ones, you know, Tzeentch. And I didn't do any for Slaanesh, but you know, that's coming. So yeah, again, they're being led by Dante Hueco, which is indeed a librarian warpsmith now. He has the Bleeding Sun armor, and he's wielding a demon blade called Sun Eater. Which is really awesome because obviously he's hunting the Celestial Sons, so Sun Eater seemed like a fitting name. And Varos, the Sun's Lance, the captain of the assault squads, is now a Khorne demon prince with a massive, massive lance made of skulls and blood. I really want to get this guy commissioned up because just the image that I have of him in my head is just amazing. So hopefully that'll get done soon. And yeah, that's just a little bit of inklings into the Infernal Sons. Tons more lore videos coming out on my Celestial Sons, so stay subscribed for that. And if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, again, the playlist to this will be at the end of the video. So check that out. At the very least, check out the timeline. That'll kind of give you a little bit more information as to what's going on. Why are they working with Necrons? Why do they have Catan shards? What's going on here? So yeah, huge shout out to Blaze Barrows on DeviantArt. This guy did a bunch of commissions for me, so a lot of these images you see here are his own drawings. Really awesome guy, great artwork, you know, really great guy. Also, Arthur Dotson helped me with a lot of the lore, so big ups to you. He kind of built the skeleton, and I'm kind of forging the muscles and the skin and whatnot of this lore, so awesomeness there. And Varos was actually sent to me via one of our subscribers, so that's some pretty awesome that you guys can actually help shape, you know, the lore behind the Celestial Sons. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. If you guys could change anything, add anything to it, let me know, and we'll go from there. So I can't wait to read your comments, guys, and we'll see what happens from here. As always, this has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'm signing out.